The Aztecs hit the road on a short week for a Friday night tilt against the 15th ranked Boise State Broncos. Hello and welcome to Aztecs All In, the podcast that goes all in on San Diego State sports. I'm Louis Weiner along with Steve Perez as the Aztecs come off their second bye of the season. Let's say hello to my partner in podcasting, Steve Perez. Hey, Steve.
Hello, Louis. This Friday's game's going to have to be DVR'd in the Perez household due to an assignment courtesy of KUSI's Prep Pigskin Report. But we're still getting a post-game podcast out, right? Don't worry, Louis. I have a plan.
With Boise State ahead Friday, Coach Sean Lewis talks about some of his unheralded players who are making a big difference on the field.
We hear thoughts from Aztec football players about Friday night's pivotal matchup.
And I'll chat with Aztecs Hoops newcomer Nick Boyd, who most Aztec fans are already very familiar with. But first, a golden opportunity Friday night for the 3-4 San Diego State Aztecs, who travel to Idaho to face the 15th ranked Boise State Broncos, who are 6-1 on the season. The lone loss coming to number 1 ranked and undefeated Oregon. Boise State is tied for the Mountain West Conference lead with Colorado State at 3-0, with the Aztecs just behind at 2-0. So a battle of the undefeateds in conference. Boise State, of course, features Heisman candidate Ashton Jeanty, who leads the nation in all-purpose yards per game at 204, rushing yards per game at 197, and his 19 total touchdowns also leads the nation. At quarterback is redshirt sophomore Maddox Madsen, who has thrown 13 touchdowns this season to just 2 interceptions. But he's more of an old-fashioned pocket passer who averages just 14 yards a game on the ground. San Diego State head coach Sean Lewis says he is impressed with both of those players.
Yeah, I mean, exceptional talent, right? I mean, and an individual effort and an individual talent that requires, a tremendous group effort by everyone in the building this week, right? We got to do a great job, as best we can on the service team, simulating the looks that he's going to give us, which is really, really hard to do because he's a complete back. He's a physical runner with home run speed. So, again, it really comes down to making sure that, again, we win the pre-snap cycle so that we have our cleats in the ground, we're ready to play each individual play with an intentional focus and an intentional purpose and with relentless effort so we can get multiple hats to the ball and really gang tackle his ability, because when it's just one or sometimes 2 and sometimes even 3, like, you better have 4 or 5 guys there because he's going to make you earn it, and he does not go down easy.
I mean, obviously they're a very good team, but what have you seen from their quarterback play?
Yeah, I mean, very, very efficient, right? Does a great job of taking care of the football. Does a really nice job knowing and understanding, how their concepts are layered and how they fit, and how everything is set up and how the plan is tied together. But, it has a great handle. It's almost like a wrangler being in complete control of his cattle out there, right? Like, he has a complete control of what he's doing and the people that are around him and the calls that are being made so that he can attack things the right way.
The Aztecs are coming off a disappointing 29-26 loss to now 22nd ranked Washington State, a game the Aztecs led by 12 points early in the fourth quarter. Coach says it was a tough loss, but time to look ahead, not back.
But really pleased with the effort of our club, the growth that we continue to show. Obviously the result, I'm still sick to my stomach about that, but, we'll grow from it, we'll learn from it, the progress that we continue to make. Unfortunately, a part of progress is pain that comes along with it, and we felt some of that on Saturday night, but we obsess about the process and not necessarily the results. Again, not pleased with the results at all, but very pleased with the way that their kids have responded to the things that we've asked them to do, the things that we've put a point of emphasis on that really shows up each and every single week. And the way that the team responded. Now we got to finish, we got to close. We talked about those things, and again, the way that we will lead, we'll make sure that our guys continue to, take those moments, that they take them in stride, and that they learn from them, and that we can learn now in a new position to be in a dominant position and to close and to finish when we're in those roles. And that's all a part of learning and growing. But again, the growth within the building, the progress that we're making, I think that is pretty apparent that we see each and every single week.
Boise State isn't just good offensively. Like the Aztecs, the Broncos can get to the quarterback, leading the FBS in sacks with 5 a game, while the Aztecs rank 3rd in the nation at 4 per game. So Coach Sean Lewis knows that this Friday night FS1 nationally televised game is a big one, and he says his team will be ready.
That last statement's kind of everything, right? And as we all continue to get to know each other, right, like it's today was important. Today was a big day, right? Because today is the only day that we can control. This week is a big week, and this opportunity is a big week because it's the next one, right? And we want to have, again, this mindset, right, with our process that we do the next thing the right way to our standard all the time, right? And so, again, it happens to be Boise. We both happen to have undefeated records in conference, right? And all those external factors that make this a really special opportunity to showcase our team, the growth that we've had, our tremendous university, right, and where both these programs are at and where both these programs are going. All those are great storylines. But inside the building, we got our blinders on. And, again, we're going to live to our purpose, right? We're going to be relentless in our daily improvement and competing today and stacking all these +1 days that we're able to get today, right? And we're going to do that with, again, a mindset to execute with purpose together because we're better and we're stronger together. It's not about an individual making a play for individual glory, right? It's going to be about the collective team and those individuals having pride in their performance to execute together. And regardless of what work, when it needs to get done, hey, normally this is an off day. Well, now it's a work day, right? Like the work that winning requires, it doesn't change just because we're playing on Friday. That doesn't change just because of who we happen to be playing. And again, all those things we're in control of, and we got to do a great job working our process, which we've done an unbelievable job of here as of late, which has led us to put more complete games together. And we got to continue to raise the intensity, raise the focus, raise the purpose of how we're doing it to go capitalize this opportunity that happens to be on Friday night, that happens to be against a really good team. But I happen to believe that we're a really good team, and we're going to be ready for that moment come Friday.
In the loss to Washington State, the Aztecs got some great efforts out of a few players that don't get a lot of playing time. And this week at the media briefing with Coach Sean Lewis, I got to ask him about that. Coach, can you talk about guys stepping up? Cam Davis, 1 carry, 38 yards. Javance comes in, plays pretty well. Michael Harrison, exceptional game. These are guys who don't get as many snaps as some of the starters. Talk a little bit about them being ready and their numbers called.
Yeah, I appreciate the question, right, because it allows us to shine a light on guys who have been working quietly in the dark, right? And, you know, a guy like Mikey, obviously we know who he is. He's been a rotational player for us. Obviously his volume and workload went up. And, again, another guy who, over the course of being with him for the past 2 years, right, it's not surprising because of his daily process that the opportunity presents itself. He's ready, he's trained. It's not like rising to the occasion, right? Like he's trained and ready for that moment and he seizes it. Cam's the same way. Like Cam's been exceptional ever since we've shown up. Again, just there's a seriousness, there's a competitive maturity about the way that he goes about his business, and obviously he has a great skill set with some explosive playmaking ability that, again, hey, like, you got to go. Okay, cool. Like, he jumps in and he's good to go, right? I mean, Cy, he's able to jump in, right? And we talked a couple weeks ago about Cy to where, could he benefit from this year, hey, redshirting and developing? Yeah, maybe so, right? But the team needs him, right? So when we talk about execute with purpose together, it's not about what's best for me, it's best for we. And he's jumping in and he does a great job anchoring down the right guard position, right? And does an exceptional job with that. Javance obviously had 1 start earlier in the year. He's been in the middle of this, of this big quarterback competition that's been rolling and going. So he's had the mindset, again, since January when we got here that, hey, I'm going to position myself and I'm going to train myself. And every time I move through the building and interact with my teammates and when I'm in the community, I'm going to act like I'm QB1. So then when the opportunity comes, he goes in, executes really, really well, is able to produce points, right? And then, again, becomes the biggest cheerleader and advocate for all the good and all the success that's happening, within the offensive unit and within the team.
So, Steve, if this game is like the Aztecs' recent games, it will be a tight one. They have now played in 4 consecutive games decided by 3 points or fewer for the first time in their Division I history. That goes back to 1969. That is the longest active streak in the country and the longest in Mountain West Conference history.
Lewis, because of the short week, the Aztecs presented 2 team players in the interview room Monday. Brayden Bryant's the offensive leader on the line of scrimmage. He's the center, a senior transfer from the University of North Dakota. Redshirted there last season after appearing in 4 games. He's been battling an injury to his right ankle this season that has seen him start then leave games in favor of Dean Abdullah, who is now gone, by the way. The UT reporting Abdullah will most likely enter the transfer portal after appearing in 4 games for the Aztecs this season. From the defensive side of the ball, edge defender Marlem Lewis. He's a graduate transfer from Richmond of the Coast Athletic Association, has 3.5 sacks on the season. A college football veteran of 50 games, second most on the Aztecs, next to Tyler Pastula. Here's both of them talking about playing number 15 Boise State, starting with Bryant.
They're a really good team, obviously. We believe we're a really good team, too, so it's going to be a really fun matchup.
It's a really good matchup. Able to, late in the season, just be able to play against good competition is what we live for every single week.
Now, for Lewis, it's not only about keying on Broncos' top running back, Ashton Jeanty, but also trying to stick to assignments and reads, whether the Broncos run or pass. And while Boise State does know how to score, Bronx number 3 in the nation in scoring offense at 44.3 points on average a game, Boise State's also no slouch on defense either. 33rd in the nation in rushing yards allowed per game. They held common opponent Hawaii to just a touchdown in their house. And recall the Aztecs surrendered 24 to the Rainbow Warriors in their recent home win. Bryant says the Broncos defense has a solid front 7. Aztecs are 2-2 in Boise overall. And remember, Lewis, this is a group that brought in more than 50 new players. Just missed the opportunity to pull the upset at home against Washington State. Maybe a sack executed instead of letting a talented QB slip away for a stunning game in the fourth quarter here. Or an interception not taken away by a defensive penalty there. And the odds makers may not have Boise State as such heavy favorites in this one. Either way, both players say they feel the team's been making progress under first-year coach Sean Lewis.
Even in the last game, just feeling like the camaraderie, just everybody talking with each other, everybody hyping each other up. I think we've done a lot greater job at offense and defense talking to each other between, drives and coming on and encouraging each other to, go out there and do our best. But I think we're really meshing together well right now, and we're getting each other better every single week.
That's Marlon Lewis. Lewis. And Brian says he agrees exactly with everything he just said. Ask the players about specifics, and to them it's understanding their individual assignments and executing the game plan coaches lay out for them. And since they're playing to win the game, Lewis, the game plan isn't something they typically share with the media. When it comes to trying to stop a guy like Jeanty, well, stopping the run is something a good defense tries to do every single week, so this one's no different. It just happens to be a little shorter week of preparation. And finally, from Bryant, a little bit about playing offensive line for the no-huddle Aztec fast brand of football. Typically, you don't think of big offensive linemen taking too kindly to a no-huddle up-tempo offense. But Bryant says after the conditioning program imposed by head of football performance Jeff Sobel, they're starting to get used to it.
Obviously, in the beginning, it's something that you got to be conditioned for. Coach Sobel does a really good job of getting us conditioned in the summer and the winter for that. So I would say, we don't. It's not really tough now. It's more of definitely an advantage for us. You don't really realize it until you're out there on the field, and you can kind of see the defense starting to get gassed, and that's when we love to do it. Just get that first down and hit tempo.
So, Lewis, there were times in parts of that Washington State game where you could see it happening and the potential for this team to score points in bunches when the Aztecs were on the move and things were clicking. They will need to do it this Friday night to take a big step forward in the Mountain West in Boise.
Thank you, Steve. The San Diego State men's basketball team, picked to finish 4th in the preseason Mountain West poll, opens its season in just a week, and Aztec fans will have to get familiar with a bunch of new faces on the team this season. But one of those new players will already be familiar to San Diego State basketball fans. His name is Nick Boyd, and if you recall, he was on the floor for Florida Atlantic when Lamont Butler launched his epic shot that sent the Aztecs to the national championship game. Boyd scored 12 points in that game and went 4 of 7 from the three-point line. Recently, I got the chance to chat with Boyd about that game and what led him to San Diego State. Here with Nick Boyd. Nick, thanks for spending time. So you're in a unique situation here, having played against San Diego State. You scored 12 points in the semifinal game. Lamont hit the big shot, and now you're here. So take us from then to here, and how did you end up at San Diego State?
Funny story. Played San Diego State in the Final Four, 2023. A great game. Like you said, it came down to the last shot. Lamont Butler hit a big-time shot. It was actually over me, too. But, just going through the year last year, at FAU again and, trying to make it to the tournament, make another deep run. Ended up not happening, unfortunately, and then my coach decided to go to Michigan. And that's when, pretty much everybody on the team decided to hit the transfer portal. And, I had a bunch of options, but San Diego State just stuck out to me just from, the culture and, the rich tradition and history of winning.
With this NIL and lots of different opportunities, was it difficult for you to make the choice to come here? What were other options that you have?
I had a bunch of, high major options. But when it came to me in the transfer portal, the first thing I said is I'm not chasing money. I just wanted to chase the best situation for myself as a player, individual, and giving me the best chance to, make it to the next level.
What did you learn from the Final Four experience? Not a lot of players get to do that, and now you're playing for the team that you played against in what was, an amazing ending. So talk a little bit about what that experience meant for you and how that might help you here at San Diego State.
I think more than anything, for my team, just speaking for my team back at FAU, was just give us confidence. You work your whole life to be in situations like that, and then for it to come true, it shows you that hard work does pay off. So that's a boost of confidence. And then you talk about being in front of a bunch of people in a huge arena, a big-time game, and having the composure to play your game and to think the game and play on the highest level, which is important when you talk about playing in Viejas with a packed-out crowd that might get rowdy and support their players. And then, it's just experience of a lifetime, probably one of the best moments in my life so far. I come here because, we're in the practice facility now, and we look up top and you see a bunch of conference championships, a bunch of tournament appearances, and you see the Final Four banner, Sweet 16, just a bunch of accomplishments in the postseason, and something I want to keep doing.
Talk a little bit about Coach Dutcher and what you see in him and what makes him such a great coach to play for.
Yeah, coming here, I didn't really know what I would get from Coach Dutcher. Of course, throughout the transfer portal experience, you get a little bit of a feel, but it's kind of tough. You don't know if he's going to be going crazy in practice, jumping off the walls. Old school guy, but probably one of my favorite coaches so far. When in terms of just being himself every single day, he doesn't yell, he doesn't scream. He speaks when he needs to speak, and he got a great sense of humor. So definitely. Comfortable in that aspect, and then just going through my foot injury and being out for months on months throughout the summer, him always just giving me, reinstilling confidence in me and just not rushing me. Some coaches or some programs, guys can get injured and, they can feel that sense of urgency from their coaches to get back, but coach allowed me, to get back in the safest way possible, and I respect him for that.
Talk a little bit about the injuries. I know last year you had some injury issues as well, and coming into San Diego State, been dealing with some issues. How are you now, and are you feeling you're pretty close to 100%?
Yeah, last year banged up my knee, so I missed a couple of days. But when I got here, I got with Sergio right away, the athletic trainer here, and he had my body feeling, the best it's ever felt, honestly, in my life. I was going to him every single day just to, stay on top of my body because I didn't want any more injuries. And then had a stress fracture in my foot just from playing basketball for so many years and the way my foot is aligned, so had to get a surgery for that. So that was kind of a bummer and, put a little bit of a cloud over myself because I just felt like I was in such great shape, finding myself here in the offense, on defense, and I was excited to just build throughout the summer. But I think it was a blessing in disguise, allowed me to take a step back and kind of learn from the outside looking in, which will do dividends in the long run. It allowed me just to, give my body a break to rest. Although I had a foot injury, the rest of my body could rest, and now I'm ready to go.
So we heard that Reese obviously is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. So it's next man up, and then BJ in the game against UCLA. Of course, 28, 8 of 9 shooting, 6 of 7 3. You got to see it. Unfortunately, we didn't. So talk about what that was like watching, because he didn't play a lot last year, getting an opportunity.
Man, I was really happy and excited. Coaches kind of got on us after the scrimmage for celebrating a little too much, but me personally, I was just excited for the group of guys who were out there, young guys who, people will say haven't proven themselves yet. I mean, although it doesn't count, I feel like that was a big step for us just to show how much depth we have and, that the guys could compete at a high level against a great UCLA team. So, I was really thrilled and impressed by the way we competed and how physical we were. And just to see the Aztec defense up close and personal against somebody else just showed me why we could win some games.
Talking about banners in the ceiling, I mean, Pauley Pavilion, obviously no fans there, but still just that opportunity to play, a 22 ranked team and win a game like that must instill a lot of confidence in the team.
No doubt. Like I said earlier, when you work, and you see that hard work pay off, it gives you that boost of confidence, and it shows you that more work has to be done. And I think that's the approach we're taking now. And the coaches can constantly staying on us. Coach Dave, bringing juice to practice every single day, keeping us focused. Get a little bit of a taste of success, even though it's not a game that counts to our record. Essentially, it felt good.
Finally, how good is this team? Picked to finish 4th in the Mountain West. I don't know who pays much attention to that. But how good is this team, and how obviously you beat UCLA, so people go, oh wow, that kind of raised some eyebrows.
Man, it's hard to say. One thing I do love about this team, there's no selfish guys on this team, and we're still figuring out how to come in every single day, work our butts off, and we're still figuring out how to win. And I say with the talent on this team, once we figure out how to win, it can get real scary.
Well, thank you for your time. Steve, the Aztecs opened the regular season on Wednesday, November 6th at Viejas Arena against crosstown rival UC San Diego. Tip is at 7 p.m.
It's a short week, so nothing clever to say at the conclusion of this edition of Aztecs All In, except to say follow us on the X, Aztecs_all_in, and send us your bon mots, praise, and poison pen letters to our Gmail account, aztecsallin@gmail.com. So, for Louis Weiner, this is Steve Perez saying thanks for checking us out. We'll talk to you soon.